Welcome to the Build Your Beautiful Business podcast with your host, Julie C. Butler. If you're looking to build the business of your dreams, then this is the space you want to be in. Join Julie as she talks about ways that you can successfully scale your profitable dream business, one that will give you ultimate time freedom and the abundant lifestyle you deserve. Julie will take you by the hand, sharing with you her business savvy strategies as she chats it up with her favorite online entrepreneurs. You'll get a weekly dose of boosted confidence as you learn as they reveal their insight, tips, and tools that you need to start building a profitable dream business of your own, one that you'll love and that works for you on autopilot.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the BBB podcast. What I do is I introduce the speaker and then we hop on the chat, but this time I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to let you introduce your beautiful self. Sharee and I met, a few months ago, right? I think that we've crossed paths online, maybe over the last little while, but we kind of and we've spoken more in the last month or so than we we're always on calls, which I love, by the way.
Yes, we're new friends, but we have definitely had many calls, many communications. It's been great getting to know you.
I know, I love it. I love it. That's the beauty of having an online business and the new friendships that you can create. And when you connect with someone, you just connect with someone.
Right. And it's so crazy you could do that through a computer screen. I
Right?
haven't even met her in person. She's all the way on the other side of the world.
I know, teleport you over here so we can have coffee in front of the palm trees and monkeys. There was monkeys over there the other day. Yeah.
That is
Not
amazing.
in the palm trees. They were a little bit further, but still, right?
Oh gosh, I'm so jealous. It's raining in Seattle. What can I say? It's cold and rainy.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So I'm so happy to have you on the show. I also want to give you a huge shout out because you are the official sponsor of my summit coming up at the end of the month. And we're going to talk about all things Sharee in this episode. But I just wanted to say thank you for being the official sponsor of the summit. You're amazing. And I'm so happy we connected. And I'm so happy we're becoming friends.
I know, I'm very excited about this. Listen, I jumped at the opportunity to sponsor your summit because like you said, when you just gel with someone, you just gel with them. I love the vibe. So yeah, it was open and available and I was like, got it. And we were, the rest is history, I guess. This is the rest actually right here. But yeah, like Julie said, my name is Sharee Collier. I'm the owner of the summithost.com, where we have DIY and done for you products, tools, and resources to help you plan, host a successful virtual summit and digital events that will help deliver big impact to your business. So that is, I believe, what we're going to talk about today, virtual summits as a whole.
That's awesome. And I think that we decided we were going to keep this episode conversation style. And just grab your coffee or maybe you're out for a walk if you're listening to this, or you're going for a jog, or you're sitting at home washing dishes, whatever the case might be. Definitely this is going to be a good episode. And I thought we would keep it more conversational because I think that hosting a summit is it's so many things, right? I think it's important for your business. It's important for growth. It's important growth of yourself and growth of your business, and so many benefits. And but firstly, let's talk about how you got started in the whole summit. How did that even become?
You know what, I used to not like this question. I hated this question because it brings up such a horrible memory for me. But now I actually feel like it's therapeutic. So just go ahead and share. Sharee, how did you get into summits? So my family and I came up with this crazy idea to live in an RV back in 2013. Okay, so we were out traveling the country in an RV, just, going from place to place, having all these adventures. Well, we were on a road trip because mom wanted to take a girl trip. So we went to LA so I could board a plane to Mexico. And when I got back, we were gonna head to Seattle. So we decided, because the kids wanted to see this really cool roadside attraction, that we would go through the redwoods. And that added several hours of extra time to our trip. But we were totally okay with that because, I mean, what else do we have to do? Like, we didn't have like some place to be. We were just out traveling. So we were like, okay, sure, let's do it. Well, I had just been in Mexico. So I was like, when they called and said, Sharee, can you hop on this work call? I was like, sure, I'll do it. So I hop on this last minute work call right as we get to the Avenue of the Giants, which, guys, if you have not been to the Avenue of the Giants, it is this little 2-lane road. It's very dark, it's foggy, and there are these huge, massive redwoods on each side of this road, and it's beautiful, but there's no service. You don't have any service. I was like, oh my gosh, we're about to get to the Avenue of Giants. I was like, let me go ahead and take this call. So I took the call in the car on the road trip with the family. And it was not a marketing call, it was a Fire Sharee phone call. And I was like, what? So I'm on like this Zoom call in the car and I get fired. And I was mortified and humiliated because all my kids are in the back of this car. And I'm like, but I can't believe this just happened. In addition to that, I was like instantly like down, depressed, like confused, worried, stressing, like heart was pounding through my chest. I'm like, holy moly, like what are we about to do for money? Like, how am I going to replace this very real income source quickly so that we don't have to stop this like, adventure that we're on? So I had all that extra time we had just agreed to, taking the kids to the redwoods. I had all that extra time to sit there and mull things over. So that's what I did, ups and downs on the emotional roller coaster. And I finally came up with a plan to host a virtual summit because I had this little like hobby blog where I had like a little community of maybe like a couple hundred people. And I was like, what am I going to do? I have to energize this audience. I have to monetize this audience. I have to make something out of this, or I'm going to have to go get like a 9 to 5. I'm going to have to figure this out before like remote work was like everywhere. Right. So I was like, oh my God, this like really put a kink in my chain. So yeah, that was the first entrance point of me into hosting virtual summits. And it came out of a necessity to make money and increase my audience size and engage a community.
That's awesome. I love it. And share with us how many children you have.
4. Yeah, 4 kids.
That's
Yeah, there's a lot of
awesome.
people in that car.
Yes, I know. I know, but you know what? Like, just life is too short, right? Like, we need to go get out there and live life. And
Yeah.
I think living life also doesn't include us being behind a computer screen for 10 hours of the day, right?
Yeah.
I know, I love it. I love it. And I think also like what the thing about summits that I love is that they're so flexible, right? Like there's so many different things you can do with summits, so many ways you can do them, every shape and size. Like
Yeah.
they're so right. And
Yeah.
it can make a huge difference in your business. One you might not even know exists.
Oh, 100%. Like when I say we help people plan virtual summits so that they deliver like a big impact, it's a given. If you follow through with hosting a virtual summit, it's going to deliver impact in your business because what a
Mhm.
summit does, hands down. Um, when I hosted that first event, I had 5,000 people sign up to this event. And I did not know those 5,000. I don't even know 5,000 people. But they wanted to come to this event because I was offering them an answer to a question that they had, right? A problem they wanted to solve. At the time, it just happened to also be the question I had. So the topic of that summit was how to make money in RV. Like, I didn't even bother thinking of a name, that was like fluffy. I just called it the Make Money in RV Virtual Summit. Like, listen, if you want to know how to make money and travel like in an RV, come to this summit. And over 5,000 people signed up. We had over $10,000 sold in passes, tickets on day one. We brought in big sponsors. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible because, first of all, I was in a very like weird place after having this situation happen. And I was still able to create it. I was like, wow, imagine what people could do when they're in like the right state of mind. Like this was like such
Right?
chaos. And imagine what this could do for someone who actually like has a little bit of coaching or someone to steer them in the right direction. Imagine what this can do if you actually had a business to start with and then you launched. Because I wasn't even thinking of this as a business. This was like a little blog. I wrote a little, ebook, and then I had it printed, and it wasn't big. But imagine if you did have an audience. So I was like, these can work for anyone at any stage in business. If you're like hobby stage, where like you don't even want to call it a business, it's just something you enjoy and you're publishing out on the internet, fine. Maybe you're a crafter, maybe you're doing a side hustle, or if you're like really throwing all your energy and it's your main gig, like it actually does not matter. They produce the same result. So I just really ran with that. I was like, wow, like, okay, I love event planning. So that's what I'm going to like double down on. So what I did was I started planning more virtual events. I was like, I love these. First of all, RVers are out here traveling. Like, yeah, we could all meet up in a location, but that's a lot of logistics, right? For all these different RVs to meet up. And people were already doing those. There's RV rallies, there's meetups and all that stuff. What about when you can't make it to a certain location and you still want to learn something? Or what about the people who are sitting at home and want to go RV? So I started making all these other ones. I did the Van Life Virtual Summit. I did the RV Family Virtual Summit. I did Ready to Renovate, which was all about like how to turn an RV into a home, or start a RV renovation business. So I found like little topics inside of this bigger audience that I had just generated, and then I served them, and I continued to grow it until like the community was like 20,000 people. There was a lot of people that I was able to grow this to just through virtual summits.
That's awesome. That's like insane numbers, right? And I know that
Yeah,
it can vary. I know it can vary. It depends on, it's obviously when you host a summit, it's a team effort, right? Like we do this to collaborate and to get into other people's audiences. And so the the speakers who are part of your event that share the event, then you get into their audience, and then that's what helps you grow your audience, right? But
hmm,
the numbers can be right. I mean,
yeah,
keeping in mind, of course, we have done our research and our homework to figure out and make sure that we have a really good theme and title and all the copy. I mean, obviously that stuff matters. We all
yeah,
know that, right? um so making sure also that you're speaking to your audience, and that your speakers have the same audience that you want also, right?
yeah. No, that's a key component. Like with the right speakers, you're going to attract the right audience. Aside from just them sharing it with their audience, those people are then going to share with their friends. And you just want the same type of person, because that's who you've delivered. That's who you've like curated all this for. So you want to deliver it to them. Like it wouldn't make sense to to take the time to curate all this information and to solve a very specific problem or answer a specific question if you didn't actually get the right people into the seats to watch the presentations or to listen to the presentations to hear that answer, because it has no bearing. Like
Mm-hmm.
they don't need that information. So yeah, having the right speakers to deliver information as well as help recruit people into the seats is definitely a key piece of the virtual summit puzzle there. And what I like to encourage people to do is definitely understand you're going to hear some no's, right? You're going to hear some no's when you're reaching out to people, when like, because you may not know a lot of the people that you need to reach out to, but they may be the perfect person to deliver the information that you need to cover in order to get your person from point A to point B. So that's the whole goal here, right? Like we want to take, when people come to your virtual summit, we want to take them from point A, which is like day one, them not knowing the answer, and take them at the end of the event. They want to be at point B, which is, oh my gosh, I feel enlightened, I'm inspired. I have the information I need to now move forward and take action. So you cannot, it's just like a road trip. Every little stop along the way is one of those sessions, and you can't teach all those sessions. These virtual summits, they're best done as collaborative projects. So you need other speakers to come in and operate in their zone of genius. Like I can teach you how to do a virtual summit. I cannot teach you about branding. I cannot teach you about copywriting. Like those are not, that's not for me to teach about. Like, so I need to bring someone in to teach on those specific areas and help the person get to the final result. So yeah, you're going to hear some no's. Not everyone's going to say yes, but just keep going. Like keep going, pushing through. And I always value like collaboration over competition. Like I don't care if, there are multiple people out here teaching summits. I could care less. I'm still going to invite you. You have something to say to this audience, correct? So I'm going to invite you, and I don't care if our products or our services, are not identical, but collide or have some intersection, because also not everyone is going to buy from Sharee. Not everyone is going to be interested in what I'm offering. They might be interested in what she's offering or what he's offering. And I want to be able to share everyone's voice and give everyone a platform to be heard. So definitely reach out to people inside your industry, and don't be like, worried about, bringing in your competitors to take advantage or have an opportunity with the audience that you're curating. Because a lot of people, that is like front of mind. Like, oh, I'm not going to invite this person because, they're actually like my top competitor, and, I should be, reaping most of the benefits. I'm like, I think there's enough. Like, you're going to have a lot of people at this event. There's enough to go around. Like, trust me, it's going to benefit you instead of hurt you. So just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like, I think also don't be afraid to reach out to someone because you think they may be saying no, right? Because they may
Right.
surprise you and say yes. And then you're like, oh my God, like they said yes. Like, like how awesome is that?
You know what? I love that you said that. Yeah, you don't know if someone's going to say yes or no. You have no idea where this person is at mentally, what their marketing calendar looks like. They may have a gaping hole in the exact 2 weeks that you need them for, promotion and to attend live at your event. And if you don't ask, then you don't know that. You won't know, you won't have your answer, and you've done yourself a disservice. So I try to just, I always tell my kids this, like, they're like, Mom, how do you get on a stage and talk in front of like a whole bunch of people, like, and not be nervous? And I'm like, listen, sometimes I'm very nervous. I just never say it out loud. I never tell anyone that I'm nervous, because no one's going to know that you're nervous if you don't tell them that you're nervous. Like, they don't know what you're thinking in here. Like, just don't project that. Get up there, tell yourself you can do it, get through it, and then take the deep breath afterwards. So get their email, send the pitch, and wait for the response. You know what I'm saying? Like, just put yourself out there. Sometimes that's all it is just
Mhm.
following through with the steps that are laid out for you.
I love that. I love that. So, when you're hosting a summit, like sometimes people will be like, oh, you have to have this many people on your email list in order to apply, or, you know, let's talk about that. Like, because sometimes we will keep ourselves from applying from applying to a summit because we fear that maybe our email list is like too small, or our
Yeah.
social following, right? Like so I don't know, like should if you're hosting a summit, first of all, what should you expect in terms of the people who are going to be speakers at your event? Because I know, and that sometimes the list doesn't matter. Sometimes someone with a smaller list will get more people signed up and interested in your summit than someone with a huge list.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you definitely can have a mix of people. But if you are expecting, like, if you bring in like a very large public figure or a really well-known influencer, you can actually expect the opposite. You can expect that person not to put as much promotion effort as someone with a smaller list because they don't necessarily have to. Like one post may get them enough, spice to, feel good about it. And they're like, oh, like, ooh, like I helped promote, I got this amount of signups. Like it's not the same. It's not the same amount of promotion. So I usually go into it not necessarily focusing on people's list size. I focus on the content they can deliver. So I really could care less if you have, 10,000 people on your list or if you have 1,000 people on your list. I don't actually know that from looking at your website, which is where I start. I can see, your followers on Instagram, but not everyone really is, invested in growing a social following. So again, it's not really an easy comparison to make or like a one-to-one. Like I can't look at your Instagram and be like, yes, like she's got 25,000 followers on Instagram. That may not translate to one sale or one registration for this summit. So again, can't really look there. So I just don't even focus on it. I expect people to definitely help promote to whatever list that is. If you're big on Pinterest, go ahead and promote there. If you're big on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, I love email, and I would never know your email list unless you had that published somewhere. Now, I have seen people ask the question, how big is your email list? But it's almost after you've invited them. So, again, not something that you're actually using as a measurement, or at least for me, so I focus on the content. Like if I need a session and I know you can produce the session, if I go to your website and you have a work with me page and I see a title that relates to the session that I'm looking for, I'm going to invite you. I'm going to invite you because for me, it's more about delivering amazing information and inspiration to the audience so that they can actually implement and take action. Um, I think if everyone is promoting, like if everyone's promoting, then it's going to even out in the end. Like maybe this person with the smaller list, if they didn't get a lot of signups, then unfortunately they're not going to have like, this great commission check waiting for them at the end of the summit. But that doesn't mean it wasn't worth it for them. I've attended summits where, like recently, I just did a summit and I had like 700, maybe 750. It was a lot. It was a lot of people who entered my list from this summit. But it wasn't a lot of like purchases or anything like that. And I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. Now you have to like engage these people. And, it was great for list growth. So I'm like, okay, it was great for list growth. It was not amazing for sales. Then I attended another summit where it was probably like, it was a much smaller summit, but I only got like 10 people from there. But I got like 12 of my speakers, which was huge. So this event, I was like, oh, this was not good for list growth at all. But I actually got like 12 of my speakers from Teach Me How to Summit, my upcoming event, from this other event that I just attended. And it wasn't like I attended that event, I saw all their speakers, and I was like, oh, come be at mine. These people weren't the speakers, they were the audience members that I made connections with. So it was good for networking. So you're gonna have different like wins from each event. And I think we just have to keep in mind that there are several different layers of success when you're working and speaking and hosting at virtual summits.
Awesome. And those are all things to keep in mind too, right? Like, because again, and every summit's going to be different, but I think that it's important to focus on serving, right?
Yeah.
And I think that when you do, I think that you'll have success, right? Like no matter what, no matter how little or how big that success looks like, it's always success, no matter what, because whether you grow your email list from 500 or 5,000, it doesn't matter, because without this event you didn't have an extra person right on your list, but also the authority that it helps you build, right? And the
Hmm.
visibility, that's next level stuff. That's stuff like when before I hosted my first summit, I didn't even know that this was going to happen. I was like blown away that like instantly right after my first summit that I hosted my first summit, it was like people were asking me to be on their events, on their summits. Like it's amazing what can happen. And then people want to be on your podcast. And what it can create for you really business wise is awesome. And I think also that going back to the sales thing, sometimes it's not instant gratification, right? Like sometimes
Right.
we get the sales may roll in from that hosting that summit for years to come. So I think
Hmm.
also having a big picture vision for, like email list growth is exactly what it is, right? Like we grow our list so that they hopefully they want to stay, but if they're not our people, that's fine, they can go and maybe they'll come
Yeah.
back, maybe they won't, and that's okay, right? We celebrate unsubscribes. But this person might buy your coaching program or years from now, right? Like you can't predict the amount of money that can come out of a summit, but it can be pretty significant. If, in 5 years from now, you look back and you're like, oh my God, like look at all this income that came out of that summit, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Because summits are going to deliver a couple of things. They're going to deliver growth of your email list, your community, like your tribe. They're going to grow your tribe. They're also going to grow and increase your authority, your brand authority, your influence. And then there's the aspect of it. It's going to increase the revenue in your business. Now, that can be direct, like exactly what you made from sponsorships, from ticket sales, from upsells, from, maybe a launch that you planned, to hang on the backside of your summit. All that is very direct. But then, like what you were saying, you have all these people, because only like, say 10% of the people buy your thing. Well, what happened to the other 90? That's 90% of the people who attended your summit. You have an opportunity to nurture into, your ecosystem in a different way. Maybe they buy further down the road. So there's direct and definitely indirect income opportunities through a virtual summit. And it can continue for many years. Like even if you didn't host the event again, you still know that these people came to you from the virtual summit that delivered XYZ. You know what I'm saying? So you always know
Mm-hmm.
this is what they're interested in or were interested in at the time. And yeah, there's going to be some influx going, but the majority of them are going to stick around because they came because they wanted that answer. And that's what you're giving them.
Awesome. I love that. Okay, so one last thing I want to talk about, but because I want to talk about your offers because you've got some real goodies that can help. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh my God, you're excited about hosting your own summit, Sharee's got some amazing resources for you, and I want to talk about that after. But firstly, let's talk about, so can you use summits to grow your business to six figures?
Yes. So with that first business, I used those summits to grow that community to 20,000. Um, which was really big. Like just looking back on that number, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And the income from that business was quite nice. And then I ended up selling that hobby that I turned into a business for six figures. Um, so yes, I think yes. I did it in a different way with that one because I wasn't RVing anymore. So I just kind of wanted to like offload that. Um, but in general, heck yeah, I just told you they're going to lead to all these opportunities, right? So you're going to have more people inside your community. When I made the pivot coming into like online business and talking about online business and talking about virtual summits, I had zero people on my list. That was just a couple months ago, 6 months ago. So I have been using virtual summits, like practicing what I preach. So in March, I started with zero people on my list, and I launched a signature event because I was like, hey, can't be out here, with products to sell and no one to talk to. So you have to. This is like me making a pivot, right? Like, boop, put yourself in here. and pivot into this industry. And now I have to launch and, find the people who want it. Launched with a virtual summit 6 months ago, 2,300 people, like instantly, like on my list. So that will take someone quite a while to build their email list up to 2,300 people. And it's only been 6 months. Now we still have 3 more months of the year and a whole nother event to host. So, it's a lot of growth there. What can you do with 2,300 people? Well, 2,300 people, that gives you a lot of opportunities to sell. And this is just the beginning. So, you have to think of it short-term and long-term wins. Like, yes, immediately you're going to see that growth. You're going to have a bigger network. You're going to start speaking at other events. Okay, so maybe you're bringing in, 700 people from someone else's event. That's 700 new opportunities for you to sell, for you to connect, bring in clients. And it's really going to depend on, what your prices are. Some people are going to hit that six-figure mark easier than others. And some people are going to, need multiple events, multiple years to really generate that income. It's going to depend on what you do afterwards, right? The virtual summit is the funnel that starts it all. But what are you going to do with those people after you have them on your list? What are you going to do with that network? Like, once I know Julie, like, what are we going to do with this connection? We already have so many ideas, guys, moving forward. And we've only known each other for, I think, barely a few months. So, it just leads to different opportunity. And six figures is like, I think, the tip of the iceberg.
I love it. That's awesome. And it's one of those ways. And also, like when you said, like, put those 2,300 people onto your email list, we did not spend a dime on ads, right? I
I
mean, or
didn't,
maybe you
I did
did,
not. No, I
right?
didn't. I didn't,
Because
I didn't do any ads for that summit.
yeah.
You know,
So, and Sharee, like I grew my list this year by almost 6,000, and that was ads free. I didn't spend a dime on ads, right? So,
this is amazing.
yeah. So think about the possibility, the opportunity of all of those people, these new people into my world who did not know, or maybe they knew about me before, but now they're more in front line of, my offers, my products, and all the things, right?
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's huge. Because you cannot be a business if you don't have an audience. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't have people to sell to, if you don't have people to engage with, to talk to really get information from, because your audience is who is going to tell you, like, when you need to make tweaks, pivot, add additional things, take away, like, what is this? Like, no, this wasn't helpful at all. Well, then I don't need to continue this, but he's finding it helpful, like, they will really tell you where you need to dedicate your time and energy, and what, that developmental calendar will look like. You need
Mm-hmm.
those.
Awesome. Well, we could go on all day talking about this because I mean,
Mm,
you're obviously passionate about it and I am too. But let's talk about, okay, so you have the Summit Host Starter Kit and you have the Summit Host Base Camp. So
I
tell
do.
us tell us about what those are. If anybody's listening and they're like, "Oh my God, like I want to host a summit now. What do I do?"
What do you do? Okay. First, I think you have to decide if like hosting a summit is right for you. So, yeah, before you even consider one of my products, I think you need to do 5 things. You need to choose your summit topic. You have to identify your audience. You're going to want to create a list of topics and a list of speakers. And then you're going to want to choose a date. Once you get those 5 things done, then we're ready for the starter kit. And the starter kit it includes my 70-page planner, which is so cute, guys. I just published this on Amazon. I was just showing
It's
Julie.
amazing. And so
So very cool.
if you're listening to this, do you have it on your website?
Yeah, it's for selling
Okay.
there.
Okay. I'm going to put the link to that in the show notes. But if you're watching this YouTube video, then you'll obviously see the beautiful book.
Yes, I love it. So cool. So that comes in the Summit Host Planner. Well, this planner comes in the Summit Host Starter Kit. Okay. What else comes in there are some training videos, right? And then this is basically what you need to get started. So it's going to walk you through those first 5 steps, but it's going to take you so much further just in the planner. You're going to be walking yourself through, your free tickets, your paid tickets, going deep into your audience and trying to figure out like what problem you're going to solve and outlining the transformation. So planner, amazing. It also comes with what I call my project plans. And so these are step by step, like to-do lists that you're going to just, import into, you can use them in Google Docs, obviously, you can use them in Excel, Asana. I love Airtable because it's very automated and easy to use. And of course, it's free. So you're just going to be checking these off based on your date that you've chosen. So that's why I say you need to choose your date before you get the starter kit, because you're going to enter that date into the project plan, and then it's going to tell you, all the due dates that you need to do these tasks for. So it's going to walk you through, planning, promotion, pitching, partnering, production. It's going to walk you through every stage, which there are 7 of them. And then you're going to produce this amazing event and have this incredible new large community and a bigger network. And then I also include, because I love Airtable, like a copy of my Ultimate Event Planner or Ultimate Event Organizer, because it takes all the pieces, puts them into one space. You can keep track of everything you're doing and organize, which is very key with a large scale collaboration like this. So it takes all your ideas, your goals, your speakers, your sponsors, everything down to what's included in your freebies and who won the giveaways. Everything's in there, including analytics. And it puts it in this one dashboard where you can keep track of everything from start to finish. So that's in the starter kit. If you want to
That's
take it one
amazing.
step further and you actually want like templates and tools to complete the items on the starter kit. Like if you know good and well, you don't have time to be out here designing promotion graphics for your speakers to use, this is an opportunity for that. If you don't want to take the time to write out your speaker pitch email, opportunity for that. If you have no idea, what to put in your, welcome emails for your speakers, or, how to manage your speakers and you need templates for that, this is an opportunity for that. And that is what I call the Summit Host Base Camp. It is the tools, trainings, and flits that you need to take everything to the next level and like cut your time in half. So if you want the
Awesome.
steps, that's the starter kit. If you want everything, including the templates and the tools, then that's in base.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I love that. I love that. So definitely have a look at that. And I'm going to put those links in the show notes for you guys if you're listening to this or watching us on YouTube. Um, so so exciting. You have your own summit coming up in a few weeks, right?
I do. This is so exciting for me. Like, hold on one second. Let me show you this. Like, I'm out here like buying just random things. Like, can you see that? Teach
Teach
me how
me.
to summit.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Yes, to see it perfectly.
So, yeah, like I'm out here buying bubble mailers. We've got swag, because I want to, deliver a really cool speaker gift to my speakers. So, Julie, you'll definitely get one of my speaker swag bags. But yeah, I am so excited for this event. Teach Me How to Summit is all about how to summit and scale. So, get your stuff together, whatever you're doing, right? We want to fix and fine tune your current marketing and all the things, right? Because you're probably doing all the things right now. They just probably need a little bit of tweaking to where you are able to summit and scale your business. So we want to teach you how to do that. We want you to come, learn how to do it, soak up all the gems our speakers are offering. It's incredible. I think we have well, I was saying we had 100% female lineup, but we have one man. So he's a diamond in the rough.
He's stuck in.
He snuck in. He snuck in. But yeah, our team of experts is amazing. So they're all online business owners, and they're going to be teaching you their genius on topics like, like what to do if like you're an introvert and you don't want to show up on camera. like how to reach your biggest signature offer launch, that you've ever had, how to manage your speakers, like how to handle those post-launch, emails. There's so much in here. It's ridiculous. We packed it into 4 days. I added in like super cool features because we had all these giveaways. We have over $15,000 in giveaways. And I was like, what are we going to do with all these giveaways? Yes, we have all these giveaways. So I was like, what are we going to do with all these giveaways? So I created a scavenger hunt, which when you register, you're automatically included in the scavenger hunt. And just by doing what you should be doing, register for an event, like reading my email, clicking on a link, walking through the back end and like getting to know like the speakers and the sponsors and reading the event information, like everything's automated. So it pops up these little badges, and the badges enter you into the prize draw. So every day we'll go and we'll draw prizes based on people's actions in the scavenger hunt, which we thought was so cool because at my other events, we've had like big prizes like this, but it was just open to everyone. So really, all you had to do was sign up. But this time, we're making you work a little bit for it so we know you're putting that information to good use. Like we want you to take action, we want you to implement. So you got to go in there, complete your scavenger hunt, and then you get goodies, both, mailed swag and virtual swag, as well as these huge giveaways. Like some of these are worth over $3,000. It's crazy. So
That's awesome.
Very excited about this.
So make sure that if you're listening to this and you love what you heard today, sign up for Sharee's summit, obviously. And yeah, just I guess we can find you at thesummithost.com, right?
Yes, come look for me over at thesummithost.com. The event is going to be October 16th through 19th. So it's really a birthday celebration for me because my birthday's on the 16th. So come hang out with me. It's going to be fun. My co-host is Liz Wilcox. And if you know anything about her, you know it's going to be a good time. We've got some amazing sponsors and we would love to have you there.
Amazing. So make sure you sign up for that. I will put all the links in the show notes. And thank you so much, Sharee. Thanks for being the official sponsor of the BBB Summit. And thanks for being on the show today. I love chatting with you about all things Summit.
I have really enjoyed this as well as all our other talks. And yeah, this has been amazing. I definitely could just continue to talk to Julie all day long, especially about Summit.
Right.
But we'll do that once the recording ends.
I know.
But thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. And you have a coffee date with your husband now.
I do. I love coffee dates. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
You're welcome. Thank you so much again. And if you're listening to this, I will talk to you on the next episode.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Build Your Beautiful Business podcast. If you did, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Julie's included a link in the shows to make it nice and easy for you. And if you want to create a beautiful, profitable business of your own, make sure to go unlock your access to Julie's 6 must-have resources for female entrepreneurs. These resources will help you build and grow your business with simplicity and ease. You can find them at juliecbutler.com/freebie vault. We'll see you in the next episode.